Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. So in today's episode, we are actually making a spare wheel mount for the Cruiser. As you guys have probably seen in all the videos are done. Spare wheel has actually been just strapped to the back of the tray. And unfortunately, I can't really do much in the shed. Mrs. has taken it up with all of her crap. Anyway, and I've actually gone out and bought a new welding helmet. This one here, Unimig. Yeah, so we'll see how that one there goes, and we shall crack into it. Done. Easy as that. Didn't even need to clean it up. Cleaned it up on the drop saw. I'm gonna cut some of this sheet up that I've got here into the length that I need, and I'm basically gonna weld that down at the bottom, and then it's gonna bolt to probably the headboard down the bottom, and then cut some more, and we'll do it at the top. Pretty much just winging it, to be honest. Anyway, we shall keep cracking on. So what I'm doing, I'm going to cut some of this sheet out and basically use it as flat bar for, so that's going to go straight up and down. It's going to be welded to that. Bottom of the headboard is like just shy of 50 mil, so I'm going to make this 45. Try and cut two pieces, one for the top, one for the bottom. Problem I've got is it's going to be sitting right next to the existing upright. And then you got the welds top and bottom, so I'm going to have to like chamfer the corner of these, so I can sit this basically hard up against the existing upright. So I'll go ahead and I'll mark that. And I'm guessing if I make this 44 and then mark it on the end, that should give me 45, 46 mil. To be honest, that only just cut through it. As you can see there, that was the inside with that blade, like the recess bit rubbing. Anyway, that's alright, she'll be fine. I'll just have to cut the other piece off the other end just so I've got a square edge. Clean the rest of it up with the grinder, and then we'll get on with welding the sucker together. Got to change the wire over in the welder because it's got copper in it. Got to change it to the aluminium wire, and then plumb in that other gas bottle, and then I can go from there. So as you can see, where I've got that mount, it's not quite centered. Now I've got a little bit of gap down there that I could come out, but I might just try and, I was originally going to bolt sideways through to that bracket, but not really too sure now. I'll see if I can move this out. Right, let's have a look at that. Still not quite centered. Actually, I reckon it probably is. It's just the silver and the black playing with your eyes. Anyway, I reckon that'll do there. So I'll pull all that out and then go ahead, weld it all up together. Now I made the bracket. Well, I'm going to try and make it so the bracket is flush on this edge, not this edge, so it's a bit blurry. So therefore the nut and the bolt isn't too close to the cab. That other piece is actually 32mm, this here is 40mm, so it should bring it out. And I know this gap to the window is 50mm anyway, so I've got plenty of space to deal with. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead now. I've set the welder up, so that's fine. I've just got to do the gas side of things, and then I'm pretty much ready to rock and roll. I've got a test piece of, I think it's 4mm alloy here. Yeah, 4mm alloy. And I've also got my settings to use here. The Unimig has actually got suggested settings, but from memory, I don't like those settings. It runs a little bit too hot. I think it's mostly because it's probably designed for a spool gun when welding alloy, or MIG welding alloy. It's based off their settings. What I'm going to do, go ahead, I'm going to open this sucker up. So in here, we've got brand spanking new helmet, still got the sticker on it. It's a Unimig one. Yeah, it's a pretty cool pattern. I didn't get it for the pattern, I just got it for basically the lens size. It's not the biggest lens size, but it's certainly not the smallest one. For the price point, I was mostly going after the lens size for this in particular helmet. Anyway, so go ahead and peel that off. Whoa, look how shiny that is. And it does come with a spare lens in the box as well. Anyway, so I've got to pull, remove before use. So that'll be for the battery. That's that done. And warning, please remove film for using. So there's another film on the inside here to protect the glass. So the only thing I don't like about MIG welding alloy is it brings out all these gases, and my last helmet it made the lens go all foggy, like just a white film over it, and you can't get rid of it unfortunately. Well, unless if there is a way, comment below and let me know. Yeah, anyway. So I'll go ahead, whack it on the test piece, and we'll see how we go. I've got to set all these settings up too. Sensitivity. It's in grind for some reason. Oh, that's cool. So there's a button on the side here for grind, and then it's light on the inside here saying that it's in grind, and then now it's back to normal. Yeah, so I'll go ahead. I'll set you guys up. Oh, I'm dropping stuff everywhere. I'll set you guys up so you can see what's happening. Alright, so turn this gas here on. It's actually starting to run a little bit low anyway. And then I want to set this to around 10 to 12. That's too much. Yep. There we go. Done, so that's the gas done. So I'll just have to trim down this piece of wire so it's not too long. And then I'll chuck the earth clamp onto there and we'll go from there. So as you guys might be aware, aluminium disperses its heat really well. Well, good and bad when I say well. The heat travels through the material, whereas compared to steel, the heat will stay in its exact location. It will disperse, but it won't travel. Like for instance, let's say this is aluminium, you could weld up here, and then over here it'll get hot. Like, you know, that's like over 100mm, whereas with alloy, I mean with steel, you weld here and the heat will sort of only travel like, you know, like an inch or so. Obviously it depends on the size, the thickness of the material, but yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Yeah, it's probably like 3 or 4 times the length the aluminium will travel, probably even further. Yeah, anyway, so I've got here cold settings and hot down the bottom, and this is all set up for 3mm, so that'll be fine because I'm welding 3mm RHS onto 4mm flat bar. And that flat bar down there is 4mm, but she'll be alright. She'll hold up, I'm sure. Anyway, so what I'll do now, I'll just go ahead, clean a piece of this alloy out. Because alloy does actually need to be quite clean compared to something like alloy, steel. Done, that'll be enough. For some reason, she doesn't like that at all. It's probably because of the loop that I've got here. Try and get this a little bit straighter. Yeah, that's better. Because alloy is quite soft, you're better off doing it through a spool gun than MIG welding it. But anyway, this is all I've got, so we've got to work with it. Alright, take 2. So, unfortunately I had a little bit of dramas with the welder, and a mate came over, I managed to get them fixed and welded it all up. So I've just put the wide angle lens, if you guys might have noticed this then, on. So I've got it all welded up. I'm no means by a welder by any means, but she's all glued together and all penetrated with the MIG welder. So I just got to go around and clean the welds up, grind it all back. And I had a bit of carnage with the welder, so the wire kept getting stuck inside the lead, and then I've gone to cut it out and then let go of the spool, and then the spool has all bird nested, and yeah, I've had to pull off quite a few meters, spin you around, all that up there, and there's some more somewhere else as well. Yeah, anyway, and then just to top it off, I knocked the gas bottle over, and look at that. How sad is that? Anyway, another gauge will be required for that one, unfortunately. Yeah, it's probably going to happen one day, sooner or later. But yeah, anyway, so I'm going to go ahead, clean those welds up. I've started grinding them back already. So what I've gone ahead and done, I've gone ahead, beveled all the edges, and then I've done a bit of a test fit, and that all buttons up all nicely. There's no gap at all down there, and it's barely touching the welds on the tray itself. So what I'm doing now, trying to create like a bit of a circle. I'll spin you around and show you what I'm trying to do. So basically this lip here, trying to create like a aluminium circle to go straight into there. So I can basically secure the rim that way with the bolt running all the way through. Yeah. So that's my plan on how to do that, but cutting a circle and drawing a circle is pretty difficult. I don't have any of those circumferent things. The missus might, but I don't, and she's not here, so that's a wee bit tricky. So what I've done, I've measured that, so it's 150 mil, and then all I've done is drawn, you might be able to see it, I've drawn, yeah, you can just see it, 150 by 150. I'm going to cut that out, and then I'll mark where the centre of that is after, and then try and cut the corners until it's exactly round. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. Where's the ball? What'd you do with it? Where is it? No, where's your ball? Mully? Where's your ball? Where's your ball? So now I've gone ahead and cut that out. I'm going to try and work out how to draw a circle on that now. And then, yeah, try and take the corners off until it's round. So I've gone ahead, I've cut the main part of the circle out. Here we go here, so I'm using the rubbish bin as my vise, as you can see, because I've got no room in there. And I've just swapped out for the flappy disc now on the grinder. And I'll go ahead. So I've cut it into quarters first, and then I've just cut it into eighths. So just cut the existing, so it's basically 2 corners per corner that I cut last time. Yeah, anyway, so now it's close enough. All I'm going to do is get the flappy disc out and then just try and round it all as much as I can and sand off any burrs, and then I can do a bit of a test fit in the rim to make sure it's going to fit. So I just finished up grinding that straight and round. So here we go. I'll clean up those burrs there. Well, that's it there, all done. So that fits alright. I would have liked it to be marginally tighter than that, but yeah. Considering I did it, I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, I'll go ahead, clean that up, and then just go ahead, drill a hole in the centre, and she's all sweet and ready to go. There we go. Got my little Christmas tree out. So I'm going to drill this out. I think it's 16 mil. I think that's the size of the bolt. Anyway, I'll put you guys down so you can see what I'm doing. I've already marked the middle. That's how I worked out the circle to start off with. Oops. Out of control. Look at that for a frisbee. Look at that. She fits on there like a glove. So all I'm going to do, get the flappy disc onto that. Righto, done. That's that. No eye or ear protection there, but who cares? I'm a bit off the rails. Now, the next step, I'm going to mount this bar here to the headboard, so I'm going to have to drill some holes and put some bolts in. Yeah, kind of don't want to do that, but I don't have any other option. That's how I've designed it to be, yeah. Anyway, check that out. Thought I've done a good job with that. So with that, guys, I actually managed to finish that spare tyre mount off last night, but it was getting quite late, so I was just trying to get it done. I haven't painted it or anything. I'll show you guys exactly what I've done. So that's basically I've cut out that circle piece and it's recessed on the inside of the rim, so that can't go anywhere. And then I've bolted that up to the mount on the other side there, and the thread all the way through. And yeah, that's not going anywhere. It was the same style of mount as most of the aftermarket wheel carriers for like canopies and stuff like that. And I kind of like that idea because it's just simple, it's strong, there's not really too much to it. Yeah, so that's why I've done that option. It's a lot cheaper than what most of the places are selling them for. Like, to be honest, I've probably spent all up, including material, probably realistically under 50 bucks. Yeah, like obviously you got to know how to weld aluminium, so not everyone knows how to do that. You could have done it out of steel, I guess, but I don't really want it to rust. So at some point I will give that a coat of paint at some point, but I've also got to do, I've got some infill panels for here on both sides of the tray. So they need to be painted and mounted as well. So I will paint them at the same time as I do that bracket for the wheel carrier. Yeah, I've got wrapped coat at home that I've been meaning to paint them with, so it'll be probably the same stuff. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, guys, if you're enjoying the content. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next episode. See ya. Testing, 1, 2, testing, testing, testing. Well, so you do that. Nah.